We in here. We in here, y'all. We in here. And guess what, y'all? We ain't leaving without a victory. We ain't leaving without a victory. So y'all, hey, my brothers, put a smile on your face. Okay? Because Florida State, if we gonna do it then, we do it big then. Let's go, baby. I only have 2 words to say to you. Go. No.
Welcome one, welcome all, welcome near, welcome far. Welcome to the world's greatest podcast, Somebody Said Noles podcast. Yeah, I said it right. Not the Somebody Said podcast, that's on Monday. Not the Somebody Said Canes, that's on Wednesday. But the Somebody Said Noles podcast every Thursday. You could check us out where we're talking everything Florida State football. Do me a favor if you're just hopping in, hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell, and show us the support on the channel. This is our main podcast channel, which we do a show every Monday, talk everything football. But we're trying to develop a new channel over on Somebody Said Noles. So help us out, help us get to our target goal of that 50 subscribers to get the channel up and going live. My guy Pump, how you doing this week, man?
Feeling good, man. We're Peter Ward days away from kicking this season off, seeing what we really got, so we can stop talking about it and be about it.
Hey man, if I see Pete up this season, man, I'm gonna take a picture. I thought long and hard about it, and you guys clown me.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who don't know me, I'm a diehard Peter Ward fan. I played football because of Peter Ward. I wore number 9. He's the greatest football player to me, and I was about 5 feet away from him at our guy JC's tailgate, and I didn't take a picture. Everybody else was chopping it up, taking pictures, and I was too cool for school. So the guys clowned me. My wife even clowned me. She's like, "What are you gonna tell your son? You gonna tell him about Peter Ward, and you had a chance to meet your idol, and you didn't take a picture with them." So I got it from everybody. So next time I see Pete up, I gotta request a picture.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's right there, and he's such a cool guy. He's very accessible. Super cool dude. What's always been dope about Peter Ward is he never, when you see him in person, he never comes off as, "I'm Peter Ward. I'm a superstar." You know what I mean? Like, you see Pete just like around Tally during these games, and it's just like, yeah, he's
cool guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, man. Listen, if we're gonna be at some games, we're definitely gonna be at JC's tailgate for sure. So yeah, you can't miss your chance again, because we're gonna clown you if you do this again.
Yeah, man. I would get it done, man. Speaking of JC, he's scheduled to be here tonight. He's got daddy duties, taking his son to football practice. So bear with us. He'll be hopping in here at some point. But we're just gonna kick the show off and kind of shoot the shits until we get JC in here. We're anxious to hear what he's got to say, because we know he's not gonna give us the coach speak. He's going to tell us what he actually saw or what he actually believes this team can be this year. So we'll have former FSU fullback James Coleman in here shortly, just to chop it up with us about some Florida State football.
True indeed. Besides that, man, what you got on deck, man? I feel like you sent me something good, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of surprisingly didn't talk about it enough in our group chat, and I think
it was purposely avoided. I'll say that.
I know I ducked it. I ain't gonna lie. And for those of y'all don't know, we have this. Me and Unc have this ongoing conversation about our starting quarterback Ashton Daniels, and I think we all want Ashton to succeed. Clearly, right? If you're not rooting for Ashton Daniels, you're not a Florida State fan.
Right.
I think that some of us realize his limitations, his potential, what he could be, what we've seen from him before. I'll tell you this, Unc. I think that for what Mike Norvell wants to do now that he's back at the helm, he's calling the plays again. The type of quarterback that Ashton Daniels is, I think I refer to him as, a bigger Tommy Castellanos, but I don't think that's a bad thing, especially with the type of system that Mike Norvell wants to run, right? You called him, Jordan Travis 2.0. Don't want to say that out loud again, but I see what you mean by that, right? Just the intangibles, the skill that the kid has as an athlete, right? That's pretty much what Jordan Travis was.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that Florida game. Jordan pretty much won that game by himself. There was so many times that, the blitz got through, the rush got through, and Jordan was just able to make plays on his own, right? He was just out there playing backyard football, making them Gators look foolish. And we've seen enough highlights from Ashton Daniels where we saw that against Vanderbilt. We saw that against Alabama, his escapability, what he can do in the pocket. I think that he has the potential to do that for the Noles, especially if that O-line isn't what we think it might be. I know we had an interview with Herb Hand. He didn't instill as much confidence this season or this offseason as he did last season. So if Ashton's going to be back there running for his life, I'm okay with that because I've seen Ashton be able to run for his life. And he's a big kid, so he can absorb some contact, right? So I'm more positive about Ashton now than I was when I probably first saw that he was going to probably be our starting quarterback.
And I don't want to get it confused. When I say Jordan Travis 2.0, I'm not meaning we're going to get the second coming of Jordan Travis. And let's be honest about Jordan Travis, man. A lot of y'all booed him. I didn't forget when Doak was booing Jordan Travis when he couldn't hit certain throws. He developed into one of the best quarterbacks in school history. But we all weren't fans of Jordan Travis initially. And I think with Ashton, you look at his career and it's been very up and down. He went to Stanford as a true freshman. Out the gates, he was a starter, didn't have the level of talent around him. That head coach got fired. He was in and out at starting quarterback his second year. He wasn't fully the guy, wasn't in a new system. Shout out to my guy 12. He's coming in here, coming in hot. And then you look at when he went to Auburn, he wasn't brought in to be the starter. You had Jackson Arnold that you paid a bunch of money for, him, number one quarterback in the country, and Deuce Knight, who was a blue chipper, top 5 quarterback in the country. So he was essentially brought into Auburn to be a backup, not even given a chance to earn that spot. So there hasn't been any consistency in terms of coaching, a system. And when you talk or when you listen to Ashton Daniels, he's always talking about having confidence, and he keeps mentioning this flow state and playing freely, and that comes with confidence, And if you look at his career, there hasn't been any consistency, and the biggest thing in being a quarterback is having consistency, which enables confidence. And I think if you look at Jordan Travis, when Mike got to Florida State, Jordan Travis was talking about wanting to be a receiver. And Mike instilled that confidence, saying you'll be a Heisman Trophy candidate by the time you leave here. And you damn near might as well give him the trophy if that was the reason why we couldn't make the playoffs. So I don't think Mike gets a lot of credit for that. And I think being able to allow Ashton to have that confidence from spring, naming him the starter, then he's going into this season with the most confidence he's had in his collegiate career, and he knows he's the guy. He's seen it all, and there is talent. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater, but within Mike Norvell's system, there's an avenue where you could get a version of a Jordan Travis, and I don't need Ashton Daniels. I'm gonna keep saying I don't need him to win us games with his arms. Just make the easy throws, the hitches, the slants, throw the fade up to Deuce. But it's got to be 60-40. Run it 60 times, 60% of the times, and 40% pass, and manage the game. And if you look at Ashton Daniels, when he gets in the red zone, he gets a lot. The touchdown to interception or turnover ratio is off the charts. It's just getting to the red zone. So I do think he's got the most talent he's had around him. The biggest thing for me, though, it starts and ends with the offensive line. And I'm with you. Herb didn't give us any confidence. What did you think of his interview?
He didn't shit on him. but
he wasn't clear about 5 guys. It's like it's for instance, Andre Otto.
Yeah,
They basically served up the right guard, the left guard on a platter for him, and it's like it's your job to lose without saying it. And from everything we're hearing, he hasn't won the job outright. It's still an ongoing competition, and that's a little bit concerning. Or do you see it differently, where it's not necessarily concerning? It just speaks to the depth on the offensive line. How do you view it?
I don't like the fact that, again, a guy that's been, around and, been here in this program as long as Andre Otto has, can't come in here and just lock down that position almost from day one. You know what I mean? It's very disappointing. Again, like to me, it sucks the way this team has been built over the last few years, where every year it's like you're building a brand new offensive line. That's I don't care where you are, man. You just can't have success like that unless you're swapping out a Ohio State O-line for Georgia O-line, and then you bring in a Wisconsin O-line or something, or Iowa O-line, right? That's not what you're doing. Like, you're kind of just piecemealing this thing from this school. You get this D2 guy, you get this guy, and you're hoping that they all can come together over the course of a spring and a fall. And that's just not a recipe for success, man. So, I guess to your point, I mean,
we're going to speak to that comment after you say what you got.
Yeah, low key, he's not all the way wrong, but
he's not all the way right either. And I want to speak
he's not.
To that.
Yeah, he's not all the way right. He's not all the way wrong. But it is an area of concern. You know what I mean? And again, from one of the most important positions, two of the most important positions on the squad. So with Ashton, you're right. He does have a lot more help around him. I think that some people didn't give his Auburn receivers enough credit. I know he had Cam Coleman out there. Kid Singleton, he was nice. You know what I mean? You get him in space, nice. He can do some things. Now maybe the running game wasn't there, the O-line, whatever. Is Ashton going to have that big of a boost? Hopefully. Again, I told you, the running back room, there's a lot of talent back there, right? I mean, a lot of talent and a lot of depth. So he doesn't have to do on his own. Who's going to be your second and third receivers? But I know we like to, throw around that Vandy game a lot as a reference for Ashton Daniels. If that's the style of play that Mike is going to call, then I trust Ashton to hit all those throws, right? Yeah. Or at least 70% of those throws. And if you can get Mekhi Danzy, if you can get Devin Carter, if you can get Jason Lopez, if you can get Deuce, if Deuce is going to, I think we listened somewhere where, they had Deuce lining up at every position, right? So give me Deuce outside, give me Deuce in the slot. If he's going to be able to do that and you get the balls to your playmakers, cool, right? And then you have Ashton do what he can do in the run game, right? Yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, the ceiling or the floor is a little bit higher for this team than we probably previously thought.
And we've always said it. As long as Herb Hand is at the helm, at the offensive line room, we're not as concerned because he hasn't put out a bad product. I don't want to go as far back as to say Tulsa days, but overall, he doesn't put out a bad offensive line on the field. So there will be moments, obviously, because we don't have the most talented guys where we get overwhelmed by a certain D line. But I think for the most part, he's going to have enough time to do the things that he did in that Vandy game where we watched that film how many times now, Pump? I know for me it's double digits because that I have nothing else to do. It's way too much to rewatch that game in Alabama. But there was at least 10 plus hitches in that game. The short routes was heavy. The RPO was heavy, and then the remaining routes were just jump balls, and we've got a jump ball guy. Every receiver should be able to run a hitch, find the open hole in the defense and get 5 and probably make a guy miss in space and make something happen. And I think you're foolish if you're Mike Norvell to not take a page out of what he did at against Alabama or Vandy. It's like with what offenses are going to try to do against our defense. They watch the Pitt game. They watch the Virginia game. We talked about it in the group chat. Until we stop it, they're going to emulate what those offenses did to our defense until Tony White could figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think Mike's going to lean heavy on what he saw in those last couple games for Ashton Daniels and kind of mask his offense in that same realm.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like you go back and listen to some of the interviews from Mike Norvell this fall or the summer. It's not like he's had these rave reviews of Ashton from practice, right? I mean, and again, you're not going to dump on your guy, but he hasn't, just this was, he's doing some things out there that he knows what he has.
He knows his limitations.
Right. So again, at that point, if you're tailoring this offense to his strengths, then okay, cool. Right. So yeah, make sure that you get him in the run game, get him involved in the run game. Quick throws, quick hitches. You have a big target out there in Deuce. Now, I don't want Ashton Daniels to fall in love with Deuce the way Tommy was. Right. Tommy was just what was that game?
He out there somewhere.
Yeah. Was that the Virginia game? It just seemed like every other throw was just chuck it up to Deuce. It reminded me of 2023 with Keon and Johnny out there. Right. Yeah. Where it's like we couldn't do anything but just throw it up. The Clemson game. Me and 12 were watching that Clemson game. And if you watch from fourth quarter to overtime, every pass play was just jump ball to Keon. And it finally worked. In overtime, we won the game, but it's like, damn, this offense can't do shit else.
Do you think that's essentially Mike Norvell's offense when he's got a playmaker on the outside? He doesn't know how to draw up creative ways to get him open versus year, because we could go back another year where we didn't have a Keon Coleman, and it seemed like that offense was a little bit more creative. But when you have the weapons on the outside, it seems like Mike, he goes off script. I think Mike, when he's on, he's one of the best first drive caller in the game, and then it goes downhill after that.
You know what? I think what fucked up that 2023 squad honestly was a lot of injuries, right? I mean, because that offense was explosive in that first game. Then we had the next game where it's like everybody got the flu and it looked sluggish. Then Keon gets hurt, Jaheim Bell gets hurt. You're getting a lot of injuries. What they were doing with Jaheim Bell, they had Jaheim Bell kind of lining up everywhere. They had him at tight end. They had him at H-back. So he was getting creative with the weapons that he had. And then everybody just kind of started getting hurt. Like Keon was dealing with an injury from week 6, week 7 on. And you could tell his production dropped. And then Jordan was trying to stay healthy, didn't want to run. God bless him. And no, I think Mike can get creative, man. And with the weapons that he has, I'm hoping that that's what we get. You know what I mean? But it's up for the quarterback to not fall in love. Tommy just fell in love with that dude. Plus, he couldn't see shit. Right? The only thing he could probably see was
probably
Deuce.
The bigger issue.
Yeah, the only thing Tommy could see over that line was Deuce. So let me just chuck that bitch up there to him. So yeah.
He almost threw 2 interceptions on a slant, and Gus like, nah, we're not going back over the middle. Outside routes from here on out.
And we never saw it again. Almost like maybe once or twice, but yeah.
after that scripted 25, Norvell, a deer in headlights. I'm not gonna go all the way with that. I think it all falls back on the offensive line. If he's got a good offensive line, I think Mike Norvell's offense could be efficient up and down the field.
Yeah. And we had a good old line last year.
Yeah. Let's go back to this comment 12 made. And I think Mike Norvell specifically gets a lot of flack, which he should. As far as development, do you think it's overkill? Because there are some guys, you could talk about Jabril Rawls. He's one of the better corners in the ACC. Came into Florida State as a undersized 3-star corner, and now people are talking early first round, second round kind of corner. You look at a guy like Usman Kroma, he could take another step this year. There's multiple guys that Mike's developed over his years that he doesn't get credit for because he's not developing the quarterback. He's always hopping in the portal to get a completely new offensive line. The linebackers haven't been up to par. do you feel like that criticism of him not developing players is warranted because some of the main positions, such as quarterback, hasn't been developed the way that they should outside of Jordan Travis? Because I think that's his biggest development, regardless if he was a transfer, he was a redshirt transfer. But I think that's his biggest, basically his poster boy.
Team 18. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think some of the criticism is deserved. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna beat him over the head because I feel like we do that every day in the group chat. I'll just look at it this way: the home runs that we think that we're getting in the 5 stars end up being, baseball reference warning track power, right? The home runs never hit. The 5 stars never hit. They were seemingly never hit. And then at that point, when you're bringing in guys like a 3-star, we've seen guys that can be 3 stars and turn into something, really, really good. But I think what Jimbo was talking about, Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman was a 3-star, and he was one of our best backs. He was a starting back for a national championship team, right? So everybody's not going to be a Dalvin Cook, but then when you get a Dalvin Cook, you get a Dalvin Cook, right?
No, yeah.
And
you
then
get a Hakeem, you should get a Hakeem Williams.
You should get something out of that. When you get a Luke Kromenhoek, you should get something out of that. And then from there, what guys are we now putting into the NFL? So outside of Josh and Azarie, those are our guys. I'll say those are Mike guys. Those are guys under his tenure. Outside of that, then we're getting guys who come in here with a lot of talent, a lot of potential. I'm not going to give Mike credit for a Jared Verse, a Keon Coleman, a Braden Fisk, a Trey Benson. I just can't. I know Trey didn't do much at Oregon, but if Trey's not hurt, I don't think he leaves Oregon. Or if
that's not fair though.
If the coach, what's my coach that was there and he goes to Miami?
Cristobal.
Yeah, if Cristobal leaves, then maybe a healthy Trey goes to Miami with him. I don't know. I can't do it. I don't think that he developed Trey Benson. I think Trey Benson was Trey Benson. I really do.
I mean, that's hard to say when he didn't do anything at his prior location, and you come to Florida State, and then you blow up into an NFL draft
because he was injured. You can't do anything hurt.
But you can't say he would have done something if he wasn't injured. When you it's basically like you don't know. So then you look at a guy like a Jarian Jones, who everybody booed like multiple years. People wanted him on the bench, and now he's one of the better nickel corners in the NFL. Johnny Wilson, Arizona State didn't want him. Nobody. He went out and said nobody wanted him out of the portal. Mike gets him in. He got drafted to the Eagles. And the biggest one, I'm gonna keep going back to it. He developed Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis wanted to be a receiver when he got there.
Okay, so again, from that squad, and again, this is I was counting in my head when you were talking. Since 2021, Florida State has put in 18 players to the draft. 10 of those came from one season. That's come on, man. That's not good, and that's not, to my point, the standard of FSU.
Yeah, so, and I'm not trying. I'm just for conversational purposes. I'm not trying to cape for Mike, but there's some guys that got developed.
It's no caping. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to say that he hasn't developed anybody. Again, Azarie was a guy that came in here and he got put into the NFL. Same thing with Josh Farmer. I'll give you Johnny Wilson. Nobody wanted the kid. Turned out to be, clutch for us. Jarian Jones, give you that one too. But, again, a Tatum Bethune, that he was a tackling machine before he came in. That's like if Chris Jones comes in here and he's still Chris Jones and he puts him into the NFL. I'm not going to say, yep, see what Mike did? He got another one.
But then Kalen DeLoach, like he turned it up a different level.
Kalen DeLoach didn't go to the NFL, though.
I mean, everybody's not going to go. I feel like NFL shouldn't just be the barometer because there's a lot of good. No, I don't agree with that because there's a lot of good college football players that are just good college football players that don't go on to the NFL and be anything.
Show me another, national championship or playoff team that doesn't have at least 5 or 6 NFL guys on it. You can't. like, yeah, you can get away with having some like quarterback, for instance. You can get away with having a Ken Dorsey, right, at quarterback and be one of the greatest teams. Cool, but you're surrounded by an Antrell Roll, a Willis McGahee, Frank Gore. You're surrounded by Jonathan Vilma. You're surrounded by all these other guys. You can be average at quarterback and just be a really good college quarterback, but you're surrounded by a bunch of NFL talent. You're not going to – Dalvin. You had Dalvin on some of them teams, and it was just Dalvin because we had one NFL guy on that squad the last couple of years with Dalvin here.
How many guys you think on that Indiana squad from last year is going to go to the NFL and make an impact?
That's not the point. The point.
That's the point I'm trying to make. That was a good college team filled with good college players.
To me, that's like John Calipari. John Calipari said, "Here, come to Kentucky. I know you're going to be one and done, but I'll get you to the league." And you did enough to say, man, the NBA team thinks that you can do something. Now, if you don't get it done, that's on you, bruh. But you have to at least get me there. John Calipari got everybody there. Mike Norvell ain't getting them there. That's just
how many times did John Calipari underachieve with all that NBA talent?
That's not the point. That's not the point. Like I said, I mean, everybody who gets to the playoff doesn't make a natty, right? Like Georgia's not getting to a natty, but you got people out here on Georgia's squad getting drafted. Alabama's Jalen Milroe got drafted.
That's not saying much.
There's people who are going to take a shot on you. They just are. I mean, Jordan Travis was probably not going to be a really good NFL quarterback, but he did enough at Florida State to where somebody said, I think I can mold that lump of clay. Nobody's looking at these teams right now and saying, man, you know what? Somehow, some way, Mike Norvell got the most out of Tommy Castellanos last year, and they won 9 games. Somebody might have said, you know what? Okay, maybe he can pull a Kyler Murray out of this guy. Let's draft him in the 6th or 7th round. But not when you're going 5 and 7 and you're underperforming.
12. What do you mean Mike is too confident in himself? I mean, what are you supposed to? You want a coach that's not confident?
If I'm gonna put on your pretend hat for a second because I'm not gonna say you cape for Mike, but let me cape for Mike.
And before you say this, let me say this. This is not a back and forth between me and Pump. We're waiting on James Coleman. He's supposed to be on this episode. He's being a dad, so we're giving him some time to hop in. So stay tuned. If you're in here first time listening, please go head over to Somebody Said Noles and hit that subscribe button. Hopefully JC gets in here so we can chop it up with him. He's gonna give us the real what he's seen from camp. So stay tuned and stay locked in with this. Go ahead, Pump.
Yeah, let me pretend to cape for Mike for 2 seconds.
Okay.
It's kind of something that I said to you, right? If you get to this position and you have a way of doing certain things, right? You know how to do this, and you know how to do it a certain way. Can you be flexible? Sure. But if you completely change the way you do things, you're going to fail even worse because you don't know how to do it that way. You know how to do it my way. I know how to make adjustments left or right from there. Cool. But if Mike's going to completely flip everything over, we might get worse than 2-10 because he's not used to doing it that way. So I think that it's not being confident in himself. It's like he has the way of doing it. If you're gonna go out, I think this is probably like all of us. If we know we're gonna go out
and die on your own sword,
we're gonna fall on our own sword. You know what I mean? I think that the way that he got neutered last year, bringing in Gus and he was just completely hands off and all this, it's like, damn, is this how I want to go out? And now you got one last chance to do something. So yeah, I'm gonna do the shit my way. Right? You already don't like it, right? You already don't like me anyway. Yes, I'm gonna get all my money when I leave. You hate that too,
out like me.
But I'm gonna go out like me. I have no choice but to do that. So I
gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. I think no choice. I was listening to War Chant this morning, and Corey was saying he's got to stop doing the money down sign. I'm like, we're being too picky about these things. That has nothing to do with football. If you want to do as long as you win games. So I'm with you on that, man. Mike, he's going to go out how he wants to go out. If he was to change the way he does everything, not only would you not respect it, because it's not organic. It's very generic, but the players won't receive it well because now you were telling us one thing last year. Now you're trying to flip the script. So yeah, I think I respect the way Mike goes about his business. Hopefully he gets it done this year. We got our guy, Big Game James. He's in the building, so let's get him in here so we can chop it up.
What's going on, guys?
What's good, man? What's good? Appreciate you hopping in, man. I know you're a busy man, man. It's hard to get a hold of you.
Yeah, man, my bad. I'm trying to build a championship park ball team, man. Got my son's 13U team. We play Lakewood, right? Got the Lakewood Spartans.
Wait. Y'all coming down here?
No, they come to us. To us. I was hoping we went down that way, but I figured there's only one Lakewood, so it has to be St. Pete team. But
you might as well get ready for that L, brother.
There's some dogs, man. It's single parents down here, man.
They call us the Vicks. They call it so. We got. So I'm building a squad, and it's funny because a lot of people don't know how I build this stuff, but I just spit game, and these parents, I'm like, hey, they listen. But I just found, and I'm gonna talk about it. I don't know we gotta get into something else, but there's a kid I coach that I'm very close to, and he's a mixed breed. The product's been stepped on once. His name is Bryson Wright.
Hey, he's man, I got to cut you off. I need you to get him here, man. Whatever you got to do, you got to get him to Florida State.
There's only one way we have a shot. And to be honest with you, if that happens, then that means this season would have went really, really bad. And they'd have to get rid of Mike. And I don't see anything. I don't think that's going to happen this year.
So he's not coming unless Mike's here?
No, he's not coming if Mike's here.
Yeah, okay. If Mike's here, he's not coming. So Mike has to get fired for him to come.
Yeah, if he gets fired,
that's a hot take.
They'll go on a visit. But if not, listen, bro. They had a chance.
That's a toughie.
They recruit interesting. I'm not wishing for Mike's job or anything, but just if I'm being for real. But I just found another one though. And the product stepped on. But this might be the coldest. This shit is nice, and so I've never been with a white woman before, but I'm putting it out there on your podcast.
All right, hey,
I'm looking for one that wants to procreate. You ain't got to raise it. I don't need you to raise it. That's what I'm here for. I'll do all of the stuff, but if you're 5'8" or taller, you got to have some curves. Dr. Umar, you have to be a Dr. Umar would have to understand. At the end of the day, this is not about race relations. This isn't about anything. It's not about love. It's about
the future.
It's about the future. We're in 2026.
26, yeah.
I'm looking out for the class of 2044.
Yeah,
you got to be forward thinking, man. You got to go out here and look forward to this. And I got some genes that are pretty good, man. But I'm looking at this, man, and it just seems to be some name him. We can name him Jaden, they name all the mixed kids are named.
Hey man, listen, man. This ain't the main pod, so
you can cuss on this channel. But my man is dead ass serious.
There's a kernel of truth to this, man. I want, I like my kids. My sons are good. They're gonna be good prospects. They're power forward, but shit. I just want to be able to.
Speaking of your kid, Speaking of your kid, I saw a clip. He caught a pick. He looks like he's developing. He's getting a little taller. How's he doing in football? Because he looks like he's a little bit taller. He's a little bit more. He's filling out, and I saw him catch a pick. He broke on the ball, read the ball. He's getting a little athletic. How's he doing?
You got him at safety, right?
Yeah, it was a corner on that play. But they're both skill players. Trey, that's my oldest. Trey has seen a lot this year. 7-on-7, they were ranked number 3 team in the nation. But they're 7-on-7 for his age group for 12U. He's seen mutants. He has zero fear of anybody his age right now, because when you had to cover a 6'3", 180-pound 12-year-old and you're 5'4" at the time, you just kind of kind of like bumping. Like who shall I fit? But he's 5'6" now. We're still working on. He's got good speed. We're working on getting. He thinks too much. That's the only problem he has right now, which I think will bode well for him in the end of the day. He's seen a lot of football. Even like today, like he was they had him at the middle school he plays at. They had him at single high safety. He's able to diagnose stuff, but like it's the angles and learning the physicality and the violence. Like he's not like me. Like he has a great saying. Like it's gone viral. If you go look at my my IG, he says, "I'm trying to get my family out the suburbs." And like I grew up in an apartment, 1033C. 1033C was my apartment. And hey, I actually didn't grow up the worst, but I definitely didn't want to be in that apartment. So when I'm looking at this house, he doesn't have a bad life. If he wants to get me out of the suburbs, I'm good. Like there's a Beverly Hills. There's always a grade up. But that's what he's trying to do, and he's trying to get better. So like he's on the path. He's on the path. He's in his seventh grade now. He'll be doing his thing. He'll be a prospect.
I mean, you used to make white kids fast, so I know you can make him fast.
Oh yeah, I gotta just I almost pulled him out of his today. He almost got homeschooled today. Like if the school he goes to doesn't act right, we will be a football family. Like football is how we pay bills in this house. Like my sister said some shit a couple years ago, about I got a nephew that's bigger than a motherfucker. Like that, he looks like Heavy D. He's 2 years. He's 2 years old. Like the motherfucker's nice. He's strong as hell. And my son asks, "Are you gonna ask his her punk ass baby daddy when they were together at the time? Like was asking would you let him play football?" And she was like, "Football keeps families together, or tears families apart, or some shit." I'm like, I don't know what the fuck wrong with her, but football pays the fucking bills in this house. And my son looking at her like she had 3 heads. Like he's like, "No hell wrong with you." Like, but we I will snatch a bitch out of school and homeschool that motherfucker, and we will be, listen, I know how to get people grades right. Like I might pay Duncan Penderhughes to be able to do his classwork for him so he can get A's, and we'll be out that bitch working out. Like he's smart. He's smart enough. I can tell you that much. Like
that's a great class act reference, man.
Yeah, like, nobody needs to know what A. I've yet to use A squared plus B squared equals C squared in real life
at all.
But you know what I've had to know how to do?
I just used that shit last night.
Was you're it because an engineer. You're grading algebra homework? Because that's the only time.
No, I was measuring out this deck that I'm trying to build in the backyard, and I need to use. Yeah, man.
Nerd.
See that this guy right here ran fast and hit people hard, and I pay people to measure out that shit. Like, so they need.
All right, let's jump into that, man. Let's jump into who hits fast and runs fast, and we labeled this episode MFTK, in honor of you. So we want to know if this man fucked them kids at Florida State right now, or is it a legit thing? We know you went out there up in Jacksonville and got to see a little bit of them practicing. And I kind of wanted to start this segment off with a clip from BMAC, and just to get your thoughts on it.
Man, I looked at a ranking, ACC ranking. They had us like 12. What are we doing?
Not good.
Like that should piss you off. 12 yeah. ACC. What are we? Man, listen. The only people that's supposed to be in the conversation with us in the ACC is Miami and Clemson.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't care nothing about this SMU foolishness, this Louisville foolishness. I don't care nothing about that. No. You got brand new facilities. You got the upgrades of everything. It's time to put it on display. Go out here and fight. You cannot play football hesitating. Yeah. No. When you play football, it's like getting in a car with no brake. All you got is gas, because you're going forward. And whoever you run into, oh well. That's it. That's what it boils down. I don't hear nothing about no talent. I don't care nothing about that. I don't hear nothing about that. No, I don't care. What are we talking about? You got the dogs. Turn them loose.
My dog.
So that's obviously someone that ran out on that field and know what it looks like. And Mike Norvell speaks to, I know what it looks like. You played for Florida State. You know what the standard is. You've been around Bobby Bowden, Mickey Andrews, the legends. Seeing Florida State where they're at right now, how does it feel as a former player, knowing what it was and what it is today? And you could hear the passion in B-Mac's voice. And I'm sure you're pretty passionate about it. How do you feel about the state of Florida State right now as a former player?
I think the state of Florida State is toxic as fuck right now. And it's always been toxic. They told us we suck. They said I was a part of the lost decade. I won 3 ACC championships, and I'm like 2 field goals away from playing in 2 natties. I should have won 4. But it's just I had a 10-win season when you didn't play 40 games in a year. And then I had, it's just I see fans say Chris Ricks is the worst quarterback to play at Florida State when Chris Ricks has 2 ACC championship rings, and they'll love Christian Ponder, who's got none, and played for a better offensive coordinator in Jimbo Fisher. They'll love EJ Manuel, who has 1, but forget that EJ Manuel played quite possibly the worst game as an FSU quarterback against the University of Florida, where both quarterbacks were competing to see who could lose the game. Like they were going turnover for turnover. People go band for band in the club. They were going turnover for turnover in dope. So I say that to say is our fan base is incredibly spoiled, us players included. I think the problem with happened with Florida State, they say sports is a microcosm of society, is that we allow the political climate to affect what our thought processes are in terms of coaching, in terms of expectations, in terms of the standard. Now, where BMAC is 100% correct, we're in the ACC. We should be the conversation is championships. We should not be saying at any given point, oh, we should win less than 8 or 9 games. Like that should be something that's inexcusable. But when we sit back and we really truly think about the last decade, you've had some incredibly wild scenarios that have happened that have put you in situations that, aren't that great. 2016, we were a 10-win team. And we probably should have won a couple of those. I believe we lost to Miami on like some bullshit one time. And even then, I think if I'm remembering correctly, Freddie got a high-low block against Clemson that made absolutely no sense. Yeah. How does one person have a high-low block? Like that should be impossible. It takes two to have a high-low block. But then we go to 17 where, Jimbo had been flirting and he's leaving and he had 1 foot out the door. And you have you have a 5-7. You should have been 5-7 that year, but you ended up being 6 or 7, I believe. Tag comes in, and our fan base acts like some people act when you bring up Obama. Like, damn, like some of them were hoping, but he got the Tag. But Tag took a job knowing good and damn well his mama gave him that same conversation in Sarasota when he was younger. You can't do what these people be doing. You got to be 3 times better or whatever. And Tag acted like he forgot that. And then Mike Norvell comes into a situation where people are mad that Tag got fired in a year and a half. Or people are just like, anything, white ice is colder, so it's better than him. And so Norvell has these expectations that are placed on him that he didn't put. He was a G5 coach. He wasn't the first choice. But even in that situation, you had a worldwide pandemic that we've never had. We haven't seen since the Spanish flu. Right. So, and he does terrible. Then you go 5-7, and you have one of the worst losses in your program history. But even in that 5-7 year, you could go in there and you could find there's 3 wins you could have found. Then you go 10-3. And your 3 losses, I believe one wasn't close, but a lot of the Clemson game wasn't close. NC State, you should have won that. If your offense shows up, you beat NC State. Forgive me, I can't think of the
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, God damn, like just kill, like again, just things that you could go back and you wish you could have. You wish the ball bounced a couple ways, different ways. Then you go 13-0. You lose a game after you lose a game when you had 11 guys who were on the NFL rosters that fall that didn't show up. I'm sorry, you probably could have lost that game even if those 11 guys showed up. But if you lose 11 NFL players, man, like that's difficult to.
We shouldn't have played in that game anyway.
Yeah, we should have.
We should have been in the playoff. Yeah. But hey, things don't happen. Then you get DJU, and hey, there's no excuse in that one. But last year, I'm bringing that all the way to bring us to this year. I mean, this past season. I think we talked at the beginning of the year because we've done this every year, but I know I wasn't excited about the Alabama. I mean, I was excited about the game, but I don't think I picked us to beat Alabama. And that same team that beat Alabama, that was a college football playoff team, that was the SEC champion, is the same team that everybody's shitting on. Like, you had a quarterback that can't see over the line of scrimmage. If he can hit the middle of the field, you beat North Carolina State. If he can see over the middle of the field, you beat Pitt. You don't spot Virginia 2 touchdowns and with turnovers.
And Randy catches the screen.
You beat Virginia.
Yeah.
You should have beat, like, you come out, you don't come off like stale against Stanford.
What is that?
Those are 4 wins right there. 9-win Florida State. 9-win Florida State goes into Hogtown with a chance to be able to play in the ACC championship and as well as play for a college football berth. It's a completely different season if the ball bounces a couple of different ways. So, like, I just don't I'm the standard is the standard, but we know it's there.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's far off. That's my point.
It's not super far off, but I guess within that, the bounce here, the bounce there, that's been, it seems like outside of 2 years or 1 year, really, that's been Mike Norvell's career at Florida State. And I feel like, do you feel like you still have that same thing the last 10 years prior to that? Even before Jimbo, the end of Bobby, when you and me were there, it seems like it wasn't always some fluky bounce. Like sometimes we got beat by better teams, though.
There was sometimes like Jeff Bowden sucked as an OC.
Yes,
Tell me about
Great person, but he wasn't a good OC.
Hey, man.
But like
3-18, running up the middle.
Run that draw.
I would say this: the teams that I lost to were some of those schools' all-time best teams. Like the NC State teams, they'll probably be doing like fucking like reunions about how good that is. That
when Phillip Rivers came in and threw like 800 yards in a game?
Phillip Rivers was nice. I mean, I'm thinking about, but just Jimbo was known to lose a game that didn't make sense until he got Jameis. I mean, again, we talk about NC State. Like NC State hasn't been a thorn in Florida State's side since Chuck Amata. I think what we have never had is a media that is just so, again, toxic.
Entitled.
And on top of that, it seems it feels as if Miami is just doing everything right. But it's the same Miami team that didn't know how to take a knee against Georgia Tech. It's the same Miami team that has exponentially more talent than Indiana, but lost it. Like, it's the same Miami team that couldn't score a touchdown against Ohio. Ohio State lost that game more than Miami won it. And I'm not – you got to play those games. You have to win them. But, like, what it doesn't do is we don't recruit – it doesn't look like we recruit very well in a day and age where you don't have to recruit very well in order to win. Everybody says Mike Norvell lives and dies in the transfer portal, but we're listening to people say this while our rival literally went to the national championship
Tell
game
me about it, man.
with nothing but transfer portal guys.
I've been saying this for the last 2 years.
is.
Their whole secondary is transfer portal guys.
Carson
Their middle
Beck
linebacker.
They have yet to have a quarterback that they have recruited, and I'm not mad at them because who the fuck cares? Indiana just won a natty with a guy who was at a school, Cal. That was a Cal. Make sure I'm saying that right.
It was like Cal. Yeah.
Cal that sucked the year before.
Threw pick 6 tonight.
I'm just like a lot of the stuff. I'm like, guys, like, all right, man, I'm with it. B-Mac was right. You do have the dogs, and what happens is you're either coaching it or allowing it. And Mike does need to be held accountable for the late game or the lack of willingness to be a dog. But at the same token, like, players play games.
Right.
And
all right, well,
again, like my position coach used to say all the time, the only way that play could have went better is if I would have ran it. But that's illegal. I can't get out there and do it no more. So again, I'm not here to. I don't want anybody mistaking this as a apologetic thing for Mike Norvell. I'm just not one of them guys that's going to come up and start cracking on myself to make you crack on me less. I don't believe in that. I believe in the fact that we need to win. We should be an 8-9 win team. That puts you in the conversation. And the only thing we should be talking about is, are we in the conversation for the college football playoff? And a Florida State team with 10 wins is in the conversation with the college football playoff. There's only 3 teams on this schedule that truly just have more talent than you. Yeah. And one of which is the last game of the season, and you should still whip their ass. But Miami and Clemson are the only 2 teams on your schedule that if you told me they got more talent. But I also believe we have styles make fights, and we have matchup things that those guys don't have. I believe you got good twin and bad twin. Both of them look, the Desir twins, both of them look like they belong. I think that they have better matchups than the offensive line at Miami.
Right. Let's slow down a little bit because I know you like to get going. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. What did you see from Ashton Daniels? What do you think of him as a quarterback? Me personally, I feel like Irish Chaffel, and Corey Clark at War Chant are like the only 3 people that are a big fan of him. I think he's got some Jordan Travis in him. He's a perfect fit for the Mike Norvell offense. And my theory for this year's offense is the 60-40 method. You run it 60% of the time, and you throw it 40%. Your little hitches, slants, throw it up to deuce, and allow Ashton to use his athleticism. What have you seen, in the small amount of time that you got to actually watch him? What have you seen from him, and how successful can he be this year?
I think he's the best quarterback out of the last 3. He's exponentially better. He's better than Thomas Castellanos. He's better than DJU. I can't give him Jay Trav because Jay Trav had 4 years at Florida State, which people don't remember. 3 under Norvell. But I do think he's a taller quarterback that does not mind attacking the middle of the field, which is there. And I think he has better pieces around him than what TC had last year. I think what you're getting in Makai Danzy at wide receiver. So that's like Squirrel White with more speed and more physical stature. You've got Boggs or Gelsey that are big targets that are opposite of Deuce Robinson, who's coming off of a 1,000-yard campaign. So I think you have similar tools to what you had in that 10-3 season. But I've seen Ashton make better decisions, and we have also seen what Ashton can do in big games. Ashton's problem is the mundane part, and a lot of people judge his last year at Auburn a little bit not right, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is he didn't play the full season because they wanted to preserve his red shirt. And I think those are things that need to come into play, come into account when folks are talking about it. But I think he's I think he's a damn good ball player, man. Like I don't. I think he's like I said. I don't. I actually like the JUCO kid.
Malachi.
Malachi.
I like him if he came in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and I also like him if the junior college rule was going to still be the same. And I knew I had him for 4 more years. But
So it is true that Sperry is kind of taking a backseat to him.
yeah, it's just that Sperry's just not as good as he is.
Okay.
But Sperry's also, this is Sperry's second year in college.
Mm-hmm.
This is his third year in college because he had 2 years at JUCO, and he's
Mm-hmm.
now he does have 3 more. He has 3 years to play, so I like that about him. This could be the first time that Mike Norvell, especially if he's able to get 9-10 win games, he actually has the quarterback that he wants. That he wants next, which is really what took the Jay Trav experiment to the next level. He was actually finally able to have the quarterback that he wanted, and now and that kind of helps with stuff. But I think Ashton is the speed that Ashton has, along with the arm strength and to be able to look downfield. I think that's what makes him better than TC.
Mm-hmm. So on my end, I'm looking at Ashton, and I felt like the best way that he can perform to his highest level. Again, we know what Deuce is, who's going to be a second receiver, and then in the running back room, it seems like we know what Ooze can do. Oozman Croman seems like he's going to be that guy. He looks like a dog. Sam Singleton, he's actually been a performer. Unc has talked about him. Yeah, like he just doesn't get the touches. And then you bring in Trey Wisner, and we know what he's done in his college career. In my opinion, tell me what you think, but I always felt like as far as the running back room goes, especially the last couple of years, the only thing that's held back the running back room has been the play calling. So if you and the rotation, I take it back, the rotation of running backs. It seems like if you get 3 touches, then bring me in the game. If I get a 15-yard run, if you got some more eligibility, they're gonna put you in the game.
Yeah.
So at that point, can they do enough to give Ashton enough help? And who's going to be that second receiver from what you've seen?
The second receiver is definitely Makai.
Okay.
And they won't do is it'll be a 3 running back rotation, which is what most colleges really are, with 2 primaries. And I believe right now, everything falls into saying you want. I'm not. Was it you said Oozman Chrome? I just call him Osama bin running. You got one of them airport names. So, but he's nice. Actually, he's the best bow-legged running back I've ever seen. Like I've never seen a guy with such a bow. Like you know how your shoe sometimes wears in the middle, like on the side. Like the actual Nike checks wear on his cleats before. That's how a bow-legged he walks.
Is this what you're looking at when you're observing?
Yeah, I'm just like looking. I'm like, damn, that's crazy that he's able to have that kind of balance, and he has no cleat in the ground. Like it's just incredible. But Sam Singleton is a track guy too in high school. I got a chance to coach against him, and yeah, he's every bit of 10-3 when he's skedaddling. So he's a home run threat, and he's actually been running very well. So I like those 2. Wisner is a guy who, I mean, I saw him in person. He didn't really strike me as an SEC back. He's not a big guy. But Singleton and Cromwell actually look like NFL running back. So those would be your 2 guys. But I'm gonna push back a little bit. I think it's the O-line, and not having continuity and not knowing what you necessarily wanted with that. I think that's been a big part of the reason why you haven't been able to have the run game, and also being able to load the box. For the 2-10 season and even last year, like I dare you to beat me with your arm. And I think that's, to me, if I'm a quarterback, that's like disrespectful. Like if you load the box, I'm going to, and I have a 1,000-yard receiver. I have a guy who's with Olympic speed. I should be able to force you to go back into a too high safety look and play me with 6 to 7 in the box. And the problem is Florida State hasn't been in a situation where you've been able to beat anybody like that. So
yeah, it seems like Herb Hand didn't feel very as confident this offseason as he was last season with last year's line. Did you feel that same thing when you heard? I don't know if you heard his interview the other day talking about this O-line.
Well, I mean, shit, they put a lot of resources in getting guys out of the portal and recruiting guys. So like they're trying to flip the room, which is kind of a big part of the reason why you don't see as many offensive line so far in this cycle because there's nowhere to put them. But you know, this is Herb Hand's third year. This is the year this is your make or break year for your room. You get your first year, you got to flip your room. Second year, we should start seeing things trend in the right direction. Third year, you got to crap or get off the pot. And that's just the way that even with coaches, like, again, the indictment of Mike Norvell, even though I believe that there is some stuff where if the ball bounces a different way, but this is year 7. Like, we can't be – like it's becoming like a again, not to be political, but it's like my friend lives in Texas, and the Republicans have been in power for damn near 40 years, and they're blaming Democrats. At a certain point, like – this is your bro. We're here because of you. Like it should be a utopia if you're in power. So like right now, year 7, we should know year 3, your line should have a Herb Hand. I bet no, this is year 2. Excuse me. Year 2 for Herb Hand. He should have. We should start seeing his impact on it. You can't blame Alex Atkins after this season.
Yeah. So you were going to talk about the Twins, and I think this defensive line can be really good. I don't know if there's a lot of competitive depth, but that could also be the reason why the offensive line may be struggling in camp because they're going up against – I'm not going to go out on a limb and we'll say what Ashton Daniels said and say they're the best D-line in the ACC, but it's a good start with Mandrell Desir and Daryl Desir. And then you bring in Rylan Kennedy and Jalen Anderson. What have you seen from those guys?
I mean, Dan, you got Lyons, you got Wynn,
McCray,
number 88 was really nice. That's the I believe the young man from Texas Southern. I think you just said his name, but it's not just that. Chris Jones is Jermaine Johnson-esque, Jared Verse-esque.
It's a strong statement.
Like guys that you're like, what were they doing wherever they were at last time? And like, how did we capture? Like Chris Jones is like that. Like he is
he's okay to wear that number 10.
That could have played in any generation at Florida State.
So he's okay to wear that number 10 is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, very much so okay to wear that number 10.
So in the linebacker room, because outside of Tatum and Deloach has been our best linebacking duo, it feels like in a while. Mm-hmm. And we know what that was last year. Is there enough progression outside of Chris Jones? I don't know if he can cover a wheel route. Hopefully he can, because it seems like a FSU linebacker hasn't been able to do so in the last couple of years. Does it seem like there's an upgrade? I know Ernie's there. I know who Ernie was, right? He hit you, he'll punch you, then take your mom out to dinner later. But it seems like he's brought a little more intensity to that room. And will that transfer now to the field in your mind?
Yeah, it's definitely. You can only. I always tell people you can only impart what you are. Like there's a lot of cats that try to talk and try to be like, but if you're a punk and you're trying to try to talk tough, real gonna gain. Like they gonna see through that shit. And Ernie is about as real as they can get, dog. Like Ernie can coach it. Ernie can like Ernie's straight up telling, man, go Google me. Go see the stuff. Like I my freshman year on kickoff return, I fractured the dude's orbital bone. We had to stop the game for 20 minutes to get this guy conscious again. Like you know, I ain't gonna hold you. We haven't had a linebacker coach be able to say that. Like outside of Kevin Steele. Like Sans Chuck Amato, like guys that were again, shit, man. Now that I think about it, bro. Yeah, like fuck these linebackers. Like they haven't had anybody to look up to.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Steele was a ball player in of himself, but as a coach, when you go and look at who he coached, and that's who coached Ernie. Like before him, Chuck Amato, Chucky the Chess, sounded like you thought he was I thought he was a part of like the mob, and his voice was so high, but nobody picked on him. That tells you everything you needed to know.
That's
like,
a good point, man.
Like you just sit back and you think about, even when Jimbo won the Natty, right? You had what was my guy name who was up banging all the co-eds? They ended up going to
Tennessee.
Yeah, like now he can't.
I'm blanking on his name. Yeah,
man, with Pruitt.
Yeah,
you got Pruitt, guys like these, but we had brunch boots. We had Tag had the damn head coach at Boston not Boston College, Bethune-Cookman. Great guy, great person. Not a good coach. And then Norvell brings the brunch boots, dude. I don't even know. My man's a Kappa. They don't make linebackers. Kappas ain't linebackers. No offense to any of them. Maybe a couple.
Randy
DBs.
Shannon.
Yeah, Randy's a Kappa.
No, I'm saying that was the last guy.
Randy wasn't. Man, Randy's been everywhere. Randy has been collecting gear. At this point,
Ernie said a key point in his interview. He's like, when I got here, these linebackers were a little bit too passive for me, and I think that was a direct shot at Randy Shannon. And you made a great point. A unit is going to take on the personality of their coach, and you have no choice but to be a dog with Ernie Sims as your head coach. You're going to get called out.
I'm looking at my dog, and I'm watching him coach as the guy who is in charge now, as opposed to the guy who was an assistant, and it definitely is night and day.
Yeah.
And again, you have a guy like Chris Jones. You have when they make plays, I learn the name, but Iggy Azalea, I don't know what the motherfucking name is.
Isaiah Williams.
Nice. Yeah, he nice. You can see it. Omar Graham, he's been at Florida State since I was there, so eventually it's got to click. The lights got to click on, I guess. He's getting pension checks, but I think you don't have to be 6 deep, but you got to have 4, and I do believe that they have a combination with 4 that could be well, and they just can't have injuries, and just like even the 13th season, Tatum Bethune and nephew Deloach played the entire season. Those are your primary guys, and they did well. I think Chris Jones and whoever will create a impact. And I believe if Florida State does very well, you'll see a guy come in this class that's good. But if Ernie could get proof of concept, right, and then they play well early next year, you can see some other guys that are going to want to play for this guy. And I've told people on my show, if you watched it, he plays on my 7-on-7. This is how good of a coverage guy is, but he can hit. Ryan, what's Reggie's son's last name? Damn it. Anyway, he goes to Hugh High School in North Carolina. I know they're big Ernie Sims fans, but they just can't buy into not knowing if Ernie Sims is going to be here or not. And I think that's the hard part with the way that Norvell hasn't been able to – they haven't adapted that part of him. Because I'll say this, one of my critiques on Norvell is he does a lot of yelling. That shit don't do nothing for me. I couldn't play for him because I don't need all of that. I wake up and I wanted to hit people. But I think if Norvell could get these guys to really try to buy in and they're not losing these stupid ass games and now they're winning them, I think you'll start seeing I think you can see the B5s, the Casey Barners and from out of Atlanta who played or just like I told them, I'm putting this out there every time I go on a platform. $250,000. Let me work from Jacksonville. I'll get you everybody that you want. If you want me to move back to Tallahassee, you got to pay me $500,000. I'll get you anybody that you want in the Southeast, because if you could do 7-on-7 and recruit kids to come and play for you in 7-on-7, you can recruit college. It's the same exact shit. But you got to buy in. People got to buy into what you're selling. And I think Mike's clearly they ain't got enough right now for that to happen on that side.
So on that note, JC, I'm on record for saying I'm kind of like Jerry Krause. Mike can go 82-0, and I'm done. he's gone after this season for me. What's it going to take in your mind for Mike Norvell to still be here next year, or do you think he's going to be here regardless?
I think 8 wins. 8. I think 9 wins, but 8 wins is probably keeps him here. You can't have another 5 or 7 year. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mike will know if he's gonna be back in September. Everything
after
he needs
Alabama,
to know.
after Alabama game.
You got Bama and SMU. You can't lose both.
Mm-hmm.
You win both. You know you're cooking with grease. And it's not out of the realm to be able to win both. You got SMU at home. You know it's going to be lit. Everybody's going to still have the faintest sense of hope. And I'm going to be honest with you. Nick Saban ain't running out of that damn tunnel, dog. That's not the same Alabama that we've all grown accustomed to since my man got on a plane from Miami and flew to Alabama in the middle of the night. But I think those are 2 games they can win. I don't mean to be the guy who doesn't have hope or faith in rivalry games for a reason. I don't see us beating Miami, but that's okay. You really could drop Clemson and Miami and win the month of September and then win out and be in the college football playoff, which really at the end of the day, that's what you have to aspire for, is to be able to play in the college football playoff.
So let me hold that thought real quick, because we're going to end the show with your schedule prediction. But I had one final question for you. Did you see anything that you were excited about that we haven't talked about, or is there one position group that we should all look out for as a fan base, or just anything from this team that no one's hyping up? I know they're hyping up the kid Lopez.
Nice.
Who are you? What did you see out there that we should keep an eye on for this season?
Lopez and Devlin Carter are 2 really, really good wide receivers.
A little deep.
Did tremendous. I'm gonna be honest with you. The biggest get is a Giles, Jacksonville kid, University Christian, tight end from East Carolina, I believe.
Oh, Desirio Riles.
Yeah, Mike Norvell won't admit this, but this is James Coleman giving you his critique. Is Mike Norvell's offense goes as far as the move tight end, or AKA fullback, takes them. James, what do you mean he's never really truly had a fullback? Wrong. Buddy from South Carolina that came here.
Jaheim
Bell. That's the best years we've had. And this kid is a bigger version of Jaheim Bell. They've got situations where they can get him direct snaps. They got situations where he's moving all over the field. And now you add you mix in Lando and then the white boy with the other tight end. You get
Lofton.
Lofton. You get those guys mixed in. Now you've got a really good tight end room, which again, these guys are also good route runners and pass catchers, and they're going to be able to force you to be into a big personnel that has to be able to cover these guys in routes. So when you can do anything that you wanted, when you can run your entire offense out of 13 personnel, that's wild. And I know a lot of my bad. People might not even know 13 even or 31 personnel. Call it like you can go 3 tight ends, one running back, three tight ends, whatever you want to do. Like I could go and run my whole offense out of that. That's a hell of a mismatch. Not saying that's optimal, but I'm saying you can. That's creating mismatches, which also can make you get nastier. But again, when Norvell's offense has been at its peak at Florida State, you've had a Jaheim Bell type of player.
Yeah. That's essentially That's essentially what Ben Johnson been doing up in Detroit all them years. Pretty much running everything through 3 tight ends.
So
and that's what he's trying to do in Chicago now, huh, Pump?
Absolutely.
We're doing it here in Jacks. I say this, and a lot of people, it's tongue in cheek, and a lot of things I say are to get a reaction. But football is a lot like life. If you got good D and some top, and you getting top, you're gonna be real happy. And
On
what I
that
mean
note,
by good,
he ain't lying though.
those who got good D understand that
big game James,
top
folks.
is good and your life is good. You need to have time of possession, and you can only have time of possession by running the ball. And good D, you gotta, good D speaks for itself.
All right, I'm gonna let you choose. We could either go over and under to close it out, or predict the schedule. Whichever way you want to go.
Now let me put over and take the Vegas money. By Christmas.
No, I'm gonna toss you a number, and you're gonna say over.
Oh,
or
okay,
under.
all right. Just give me the number.
Rapid fire. Ashton Daniels over 10 touchdowns.
Hell yeah, like 10
passing
touchdowns.
I'm sorry, rushing. I'm tripping.
Oh,
Rushing touchdown.
I'm about to say shit. What the hell are y'all think Ashton Daniels doing? Like, no, he won't have over 10 touchdowns.
Usman Kroma 1,000-yard season.
Yes.
Bakai Danzy over 800 yards receiving.
Nah, that's a lot. That's a lot to have 2,000-yard receivers, but I don't think so.
You think Deuce does it again?
I think Deuce does it again.
I think it's more weapons in the room, man.
Deuce did it in what, 10 games last year?
It was just Deuce though. Boggs was hurt. Lopez gonna get some targets. You just mentioned the tight ends. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of ball to go around. Then we got the running backs. A lot.
I still think Deuce get that.
All right.
That bam.
Yeah.
All right. Mandrell Desir over 8 sacks.
That's the good. That's bad. So that's the one that's the D tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Nah, he's not gonna get over 8 sacks.
Yeah. All right. Chris Jones over 100 tackles.
Yes.
Last one, Jabril Rawls, over 4 picks. He said he was gonna get 6 at media day.
Yeah, they're running cover 3, so they're in a more ball hog, opportunistic type of defense. So like they're not running man like they were successful running man, but they're not doing that. But so I think running that zone puts you in situations, especially if he's on the backside more, and they run the backside with a match concept, so it'll look like man. If nobody else is there, I think he's going to be. I think he's a ball hawk. I like Jabril. Got a chance to really chop it up with him at media day. In ACC media days. Good kid playing for his father. I did not realize his dad was a Major League Baseball player too. So, good athlete.
All right, I'm gonna give you one more. Schedule record 9-3.
Yeah,
9-3.
I believe that. I definitely could see that. That would give you. There's only 3 teams. Like, I don't. And to be honest with you, I don't think they lose to SMU and Florida. So, like, you would pick one.
And you don't believe? You think we're gonna run it back against Bama then? In Bama?
The only reason why is because they don't have. Tell me the victory from Bama that just makes you feel like, ooh, shit, that's Bama. Outside of Georgia in the SEC championship game.
I'm with you. Listen, I've been dumping on Bama.
No, that's what I'm just saying. Like, that's the reason why. I think their quarterback is a little bit better. I don't fear no man who paints his nails, and I don't trust men with 2 last names. I'm sorry. That's just something I don't do. Like, as a grown man, especially when you're a grown man and you chose to have 2 last names, you're part of the community. You might as well add one of them letters to that if you're doing that. I'd say there's a defensive end that's with the Jaguars right now. I liked him better when his name was just Allen, but when he made it Hines Allen, like, bro, what are we doing, dog? Who did you get married to? What man are you willing to not be under authority for? Like, so when Ryan Williams decided, Ryan Williams is Williams Coleman, like, or Coleman Williams. Which one are you, son? Like, you're confused, so I'm confused. I'm a confusion with you, and I just don't see it. We locked it down with less. And that's kind of the like, again, if this were Knicks, they're playing Pac-12 ball in the SEC, and I think that's where they're in an identity crisis at Alabama. But if this was Nick Saban's Alabama, I'll be like, yo, man, nah, we ain't beating that B. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. But like, I just don't, like, again, if people who, and I saw the person put 9-3 delusional, right? And that's cool. I'm all for
got a Gator shirt on though. You know how that goes.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you what delusional is. Florida Gators are so used to like stereotyping people that they don't even know what they're stereotyping. Tramel Jones is my guy. Love Tramel Jones to death. Coached him for 4 years. They said Tramel Jones was a good athlete. Tramel can't beat me in a race now. Not me in my prime. I'm talking about me now, 42 years old, bad sciatic, all of that shit. So, like, you got a fan base that thinks just because a kid is black that he's not a quarterback and he's an athlete. So that's the delusion. I just know y'all can't even read. Y'all can't read.
Yeah, we just got to scroll past that one.
Like, so, but as far as that, like, shit, like, they gotta one of these days they gotta wake up and realize, like, I'm in one of the greatest college towns, really great towns in general, just to get whatever it is that I want. You like black women? They got a lot of good looking ones on Florida State's campus, but you know where they got more of them at? Right across the train tracks, where it's like 9,000 and it's like 9,000 black people, 65% of them are women.
See, that's
then
the
there's
problem.
Tallahassee Community College that's got a lot of good looking women too. But if you like your Rebecca's and all that other stuff, pick of the litter right there. Like, it's right there. And Tallahassee is a fun place when you're winning. It sucks if you it's not a great place to be if you suck. But like, if they go and win and just bring that city a winner, they'll get whatever they want to get. And I hope these young men wake up and realize that this is what they got to do.
There it is.
JC, before we get you out of here, man, you got something coming up on SMU game, right? We got the
tailgate. If we're not gonna win nothing, we're gonna win the tailgate. So we got the tailgate. Dope. We're gonna actually do something unique for the tailgates. We're gonna actually be doing pods all day. So we're gonna be doing live pods. So come check out there. We'll have dope talk with my boy CJ. We'll do a Trials of Triumph podcast with Freddie Stevenson, and I'll do Big Games BS up there, live shows. And then the one thing that I'm always going to have is the former players going to come out. So we got Dub will be there. We'll have basically all your favorite players from the mid 80s all the way up until the last national championship. So we'll have a lot of guys up there. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. I think the price right now is $60. Red Bull is sponsoring it. If you drink that, there'll be plenty of energy drinks. I know it's going to be hot. We'll have music, and it's a great family reunion style tailgate / class reunion. So like, if you were ugly and you fine now, come step out. Let people see you. If you was fine and you ugly, come step out. Maybe somebody who wants to smash in college will get an opportunity. But like, bottom line is, we ain't there to have fun.
Right.
From experience, man, it's always a good time. How can they get access to it?
Check out the ticket. Check out the link. It'll be on my it'll be one of my pinned tweets on @BigGameJames_36 on Twitter. We'll be doing all kind of promotions. We'll be selling tickets all the way up. It's all you can eat. So if you buy a ticket late and the food is out, well, that was all you can eat. But it's going to a good cause. So Mftk Foundation is my community foundation. So a portion of the proceeds go to do book bag drives and help young men and women who want to be great in life become great in life. And then, the other, I can't speak for what Freddie and CJ, I think their cause is cause they need to watch, cause they need a house, cause they got bills to pay. So like, you can help their cause too. But my portion goes to the community. But come check us out. Either way, have a good time, good vibes.
No doubt. 3-6, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, brother.
man.
Huh?
Hey, man. We always get a good one from our guy JC, man, and please support that tailgate, man. It's a vibe. And this year, I'm going to take a picture with P-Dub.
All right, man.
Y'all ain't gonna talk to me crazy this year. I'll take a picture with P-Dub.
You're gonna take a pic with a rando, which is fine. I mean, it's all Florida State, so I mean, you take a picture with whoever you want to take a picture with, man.
All right, man. I feel like we overdid it. We typically do 30-minute show, but that's our guy JC, man. He always come in, chop it up with us every year. For those of you who stayed, please go over to Somebody Said Noles and hit that subscribe button, please. This is our main pod, which we do every Monday. We talk everything football on Monday. There's a Somebody Said Canes channel on Wednesday, which our guy Breeze does. And we do Somebody Said Noles every Thursday night. So head on over to Somebody Said Noles, hit that subscribe button, man, and support the channel. Pump, man, you got any wise words to get us out of here?
No, man. I don't want JC to give me too much hope, man. So I'm gonna
hey, man,
get my shit together right now. Listen, he got me. He got me
you
believing.
You thought he was gonna go left, but he went right.
No, in all honesty, man, listen, JC is he's a Nole, man. He sees it, he knows what it should be, and he's not gonna dump too hard on the team. Right. Yeah. So I mean, him, 9-3, 8 wins from Mike to save him. That's not out of the question. Again, I think that's what we said, but I'm gonna decompress, man. I'm gonna drink my beer and go back to what I was doing.
All right, man. Always, kids, sell hope, not coke. I'm Unc, and we out.